Hello, Ascended Cultists. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Worshippers of Cthulhu. Episode 3, Cult Acolytes. So the tutorial did say that the island share the unemployed, but you can only work on the island that you have a house on. So in the event that people were working on my first island, they weren't unemployed. Therefore, they weren't shared with that second island. So they weren't hireable in the pool for the second island. You can only live where you work and work where you live. Does that make sense? These stockpiles are magically connected though, yes.
Oblivion beckons.
The main storage here is a global storage shared between all warehouses and islands. Can you kick people out of the house without deleting it? So as I said before, and I'll just say this again so I don't have to keep repeating myself, I do not know of a better way to move people between islands. So I showed you the way I know how to do. If there's a better way, I don't know it. It's also worth mentioning, again, that trying to match people with their specializations doesn't really matter in the long run. So it's something that I will show you just a few times. But in the long run, I'm not going to bother doing it because it's not worth doing. Am I capped at 99 materials? Yes. But there are ways to increase your maximum. So there is... down here, the storage office, which increases your global storage by 50. It does have an upkeep of faith. So unless you, for some reason, need to increase your global storage, building those buildings have an expensive upkeep that you might want to avoid, because right now that would be about a third of my faith income to increase my max storage capacity, aka, in my opinion, totally not worth it.
Worship the great.
And then as far as like manually kicking people out of their homes, you get full refunds destroying their homes, so it doesn't really matter if you kick them out or destroy it. So I don't think that there's a way to kick them out.
We obey.
But even if there was, it doesn't really save you a lot of time, effort, energy, etc. Yeah. So we have this domination at sea, sink 6 ships. So what we're going to want to probably do is to summon the Yugathar, a hulking beast, durable with slow, powerful attacks. And for that, I need to save up faith and blood. And also, you summon him using 1 sacrificed follower rather than 2, but sacrificing 3 captives.
Fulfill the prophecy. Our work for our God.
So we are running out of robes. We have surplus of sheep. We might need to make... So certain production facilities, it tends to be the robe maker and especially the corn cooker. You tend to have to have a lot of corn cookers in your community and robe makers in your community compared to other jobs. Are my blood drainers still working? Now that the sheep are gone? The sheep aren't gone. They switched islands.
Our work. We require workers,
So 10 more blood, and we'll be able to summon the 1,200 more faith, and we'll be able to summon something to be able to do the domination at sea.
Followers who do not labor should devote themselves to spiritual growth. Dispatch them to the Elder Temple to worship the Lord, and increase their fanaticism.
Fulfill the prophecy.
So now, we just unlocked the ability to put people in the Elder Temple for a passive effect. So I'll show you that here. There's 4 spots in the Elder Temple, and anyone currently unemployed, which is literally nobody, because I have everyone employed, would be able to go into the Elder Temple, and then periodically, it would add 1 fanaticism if they were employed there.
Our work for our God.
Fulfill the prophecy.
Is there more ruins on the second island that I could take for planks? Is there something like an enemy? Yes. I mean, literally we're staring at enemy ships that we're ordered to attack right now, so yeah, there are enemies. The goal is to sink 6 enemy ships.
Oblivion beckons.
And we're about to do it. I need 1 more blood. Come on, drink that blood. There we go. If your stockpiles are full, you'll have this little, like, eyeball icon, meaning it needs attention. I don't really care to relocate the millers to other tasks, so I'm just going to leave them at B. Well, let's go ahead and summon ourselves a Yugothar. And I will sacrifice Octavia for it. Bye-bye, Octavia. Alright, so this thing has a lot more life than the last one, and it's tankier. And I'm going to be hunting enemy ships with it. I don't really want to get in a 4-ship fight, so I'm going to let one group pass first. And that message just told me that my beacon ritual's done.
Honor the teaching.
So, 4 more followers will arrive next wave, so I'll get a total of 10. More blood for the blood god. Oh, and those ships got destroyed when I was in that cutscene. Plot armor, yo. Come on, ships. And 10 more followers arrive. I need to sink 2 more ships. Hopefully they spawn soon, because my Yugothar is like half dead. Here we go. Woody Zombie, thank you for the resub. Perfect. Victims at sea. There we go. Domination at sea complete. I've just unlocked defensive towers. With my remaining HP, I'll just send them YOLOing into these 2. I'm sure they'll kill me, but he was going to despawn anyway. Alright. I have enough stone for the re-educators, so let's get those out. Hey, look, I magically left exactly the right amount of space for a re-educator in my town. How did I ever predict that? I do not know. Oh, I did the same over here? Curious how that works out. So what I'm going to do is, of the 9 people that are currently homeless, I want to put 4 of them over here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 5 of them over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that they can work in the Elder's Temple to raise fanaticism. And then if they have specializations that are useful to work elsewhere, I can put them in those specializations. So I just put the lumberjack into the lumberjack building and the corn and sheep farmer into the Elder Temple.
Embrace your
We will be rewarded.
So like a robe maker and a mason, those would
Worship the
be
Great
best
One. Worship
hired
the Great One.
in
Our
the
work for our
robe
God.
maker. So you are our 5th robe maker. And then
We will
the
be rewarded. Our work for our
Mason.
We obey.
honor the teachings.
so this island to island, I will like min-max employment, but between islands, I don't bother. Because between islands, it's like way more effort than it's worth. Alright, and then likewise over here, if any of them are like quarry people. No, nobody works in a quarry, so you're all gonna go straight into the Elder Temple.
Beckons. Embrace your
The Reeducator allows you to turn captives into followers. And
honor the
I don't
teachings.
usually do this, but I will turn at least one of them into a follower. I don't usually do it because you can use captives for other their resources. And I'd like to use them as resources.
Mysterious spire we glimpsed.
I serve the
Sir,
dead.
High Priest, I
We
urge you to
require
investigate.
workers. Oh, we worship the. Our
Okay,
work for our God.
How many unemployed people do I have here? Okay, everybody's employed now. Copy
Our
that.
work for our
You're fired
God.
instead.
Honor the
So if we take a look at these houses, I have supplied 100% of what they need, meaning that I've essentially maxed out more or less maxed out the amount of zeal that I can get and faith that I can get from them. So there's no more benefits that I can yield from this sort of governance.
Let us gather.
I can, however, carve someone up, so let's go do that. Every time I do it, it reminds me of Scrubs, of the Todd singing the song like, or no, maybe it wasn't the Todd, but it was like da 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 shiny scalpel, da 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 gonna cut someone up. He was just happy to be doing surgery. What do we need? Maybe blood drainers? So let's go to workplace for blood draining, and we'll try to make our blood drainers more efficient. So this blood drainer is going to get carved up. We want you to be a blood drainer. So just a tiny little circle in the middle of your back. And done. Alright, investigate the mysterious structure.
What dread is unfolding? Have we been forsaken?
Cthulhu's Patience. The UI displays Cthulhu's Patient level. If this reminds you of Against the Storm, it should. It diminishes over time, and if the bar depletes completely, you will face defeat. Cthulhu's Patient level increases with pleasing actions like quests, rituals, and ceremonies. More opportunities will unfold. For some reason or another,
Fire is essential for awakening our God, and your cult's inadequacy keeps its doors shut. Amass more followers, hope, and feed, and you might yet see it open.
All right. So the quest is to start staking corn ale production. Got it. So I was going to say, for some reason, you can just stop declining Cthulhu's patience and turn off the mechanic entirely. I won't be doing that. So stake an ale. If we take a look at our starting island, there is a bonus to stake. And then there is a bonus on Black Sand Island for corn ale. So if I'm going to start staking ale, I'm going to split up where it's made. So I just unlocked the ale brewery. And I need a little bit more Eldritch Favor to build it. So let's go get said Eldritch Favor.
Evil awakens.
I have enough for the fancier effigy. So for 2,500 faith, I'll get 70 favor. Whereas for this, it was 1,500 faith for 38.
Let us gather.
Well, thank you for the resub. And the idol that I'm carving actually functionally looks different now,
Let
too.
us gather.
I forgot to show you that. I just converted one of my captives into a follower. So I'm going to put one more house down. Yeah, you can see the idol looks different. Also, the resources, the moment you click this, it consumes it. So yes, I am readying a second idol, but you can see how they look different. So as soon as I have the faith to carve this up, I'll do that. I just don't have the faith right now. So with this, let's get defensive towers unlocked. And I need a faith income of 1,200 to be able to unlock stakes. Or butcher for the stakes. Right now I'm producing 1038. The easiest way to do this is just to wait for our population to increase, because more people equals more faith. Because at the moment, I think I have all of their requirements fulfilled. There's really nothing I can do to make them happier. Now, with that said, I'm almost out of cooked corn, very low on clam, and out of robe. So working on those specific industries will help to keep the faith up highest. The ale brewery, I'm going to place on Black Sand Isle. And this will probably trigger a tutorial. Worker tiers. Some buildings require specialized workers. In each building window, you can check the required ascendance level of followers to work.
We require work.
Though your followers are fervent, they lack the knowledge needed for the tasks we demand, my high priest.
Witness, thy supplications are heeded. Minds can be roused, attaining in an instant what years of repetition and toil may otherwise demand. This knowledge, drawn from the abyss, will turn you apart and rebuild you to fulfill your purpose. Erect the altar, mortal. Embrace your incoming hosts.
So what this is about is that some jobs, like the ale brewery, only employs higher tiered workers.
For our God.
This should, again, remind you of, like, ANNO. So, the basic buildings that we have here employ one-tier workers, but the ale brewery requires tier 2 workers, so we need to ascend our workers up to tier 2. So there's tier 1, which is initiates, tier 2 acolytes, and tier 3 disciples. So in order to get some acolytes to be able to work in the ale brewery, we need to build the Ascension altar, which I just so happen to have all the resources for. So let's go build that now. And did he make an island? Sorta, yeah. I mean, he is the messenger of Cthulhu, so ain't no thing for him. Ascending follower tiers. Ascending the tier of your followers requires fungus. The Ascension altar enables their cultivation. Collect them using left click. Once you have harvested fungus, you will need to wait for them to grow back. Assign workers in the Ascension altar to make them grow faster. Ascending. To ascend followers using fungus, open the radial menu Q, select the Ascend tool, and pick the chosen housing to ascend its resident. I don't like doing it that way. I'll show you a better way. You can also send followers using the Ascension window. Yeah, that's the way I like doing it. My priest? Well,
My high priest, now is the time to choose who you wish to elevate. But beware, those ascended will assume mundane tasks, so choose wisely.
so basically, once you make an acolyte, they will no longer do initiate jobs. So I have a ale brewery, or a corn ale brewery, and Hesperia Pym, who's working as a blood drainer here, would be the best brewer. What I'm going to do before I even do that is to the 6 people that just showed up, give them houses. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I don't want to try to move Pym over to the other island to become an ale brewer until everybody is housed. And then of these 6 new people, I'll probably have some of them working on
Worship the great
corn
one.
cooking, because I'm basically out of corn and I'm also out of robes. So putting people in those 2 industries is gonna be important. So I'll build those as well.
Worship the Great One.
Oh, and just by luck, this new guy is also a corn ale brewer too. So both of them are going to move over and become specialized acolytes doing corn ale brewing on the other island. So the Ascension island is not connected to any other island, and you can ascend anyone on any island of your choosing, just as long as you have the fungus. And I have 36 fungus, so I have plenty of fungus to do it. Alright,
We will
now
be
that everyone's housed, I'm going to destroy this house,
We will be
and
worship the
one more
great
person's
one.
house that
Worship the
is
great
a
one. Our work.
corn ale brewer. Your
Our work
house.
for our God.
And then I'm going to build houses for them on Black Sand Isle, so that they can take up their new calling. I also might want to put another plantation for corn down, so they don't run out of corn. It's also worth noting that if, and I don't know if this is intended or a bug, but if I ascend someone to an acolyte and then I make them homeless, they go back to initiate.
I'll work
So
for our God.
when the game says they eschew mundane tasks, meaning they won't do initiate work anymore, that's not entirely true. But that's why I think it might be a bug rather than a feature. But again, I am not sure. So in order to ascend these two corn brewers, I also have to wait for their needs to fulfill. Because, as you can see, you cannot ascend them to become acolytes until their initiate needs are met. And because they just moved in these buildings, it will take them a minute to meet their needs. But their needs will be met eventually. Alright, the other thing I want to do is to move 2 corn farmers over to the new island too.
We require. I serve the deep.
So I am going to build 2 more houses. And try to find 2 corn farmers to get kicked over to the other island.
We will be rewarded.
We require.
Alright, let's see. Cassiopeia?
We will be rewarded.
Evicted? And that was the only one. Oh no, there's Ezekiel.
We obey.
Also evicted. And now they're over here. And I can put them in the corn farm.
Workers, O High Priest.
And then the original 2 that I moved that I wanted to become, they still haven't fulfilled their needs. But it's getting pretty close. One of the reasons why it's not closer is I'm nearly out of robes and nearly out of cooked corn, so I could fix this by hiring more corn cookers
Workers, O
and
High
more
Priest.
robe makers. And what, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire the 3 people working in the Elder's Temple, because I don't need a little bit more fanaticism. I'd rather have more robes.
Deep.
And that way, the initiate's needs will be met, and I'll be able to ascend them.
Obey. I serve the deep.
So yeah, it's mostly waiting on cooked corn. But I just doubled the plantations and doubled the corn cookhouses,
Our work for our God.
so it shouldn't be long until those shortages are resolved.
Our work for our God.
Oh, there we go. Shortage is resolved. For one of them, at least.
It is accomplished, and your people are imbued with renewed vigor to fulfill their designated role.
There's a high priest.
There we go. We have our first 2 acolytes, both working at the ale brewery. So if you take a look at their homes here, their homes have a lot more needs than the initiate homes. So they have needs of corn ale, steaks, library, cemetery, bottled milk, and idols. The other part of the requirement up there is to start steak production. So steaks would be cow farm and butcher. As far as cow farms go, there is a bonus to both steak and cow farms at our starter island. So that's where I intend to build the industries. But that won't work until we have a little bit more Eldritch favor. So I just finished carving that effigy. And let's do another ceremony for some fanaticism. So I identified that we're kind of low in robes, so I think what I'm going to do is try to make more dedicated robe makers. So, Aza Cloven, you're going to become a robe maker. If I carve you right. I did. Good. Another thing that's worth noting is the amount of faith that higher tier people produce is much better. So like, even with barely any of the initiate needs met,
I serve the
the Acolyte is producing 36,
we will be
where with the initiate producing 24, and you can imagine fulfilling corn ale and stakes and library and cemetery and all those other things would dramatically increase their generated faith. So corn ale alone will increase it by 8, stakes will increase it by 10, cemetery by 2, bottled milk by 8, idols by 22. So there's a lot more potential faith per minute fulfilling Acolyte requirements. Okay, did the favor. So cow farm, butcher, and then iron mine and coal mine. I know I'm going to need at some point soon, so I'll get those two. So I'm missing faith for the cow farm and the butcher, so I just have to wait until I have that faith.
No one requires our goods. Oh.
And it looks like cooked corn is barely keeping up. Same with clam. We're kind of running out of clam. So the other thing I might want to do is to turn on another clam collector. Because we only have the one and it's not cutting it.
worship the Great One.
We require.
How much of the bar will that patience fill? So it's 200 max. 330 will fill it almost up to max. Not quite there, but almost. I do believe that, if I'm not mistaken, there were some people that were interested in clam collecting on the second island. One easy way to figure it out is to sort by specialization, and it was someone working the sandstone quarry. So I'm not really using sandstone all that much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to
Worship the Great One.
fire this person and put him back on the main island, and then also fire one of the corn cookers that is working here and put him on the main island too. Are there higher quality roads? Not that I know of.
We require workers, High Priest.
So the cow farms are acolyte requirements as well. So the better corn cookers, iron fired, and better robe maker.
Our work for our God.
Oh, did that other road maker? Oh no, it wasn't a road maker. It was a clam. Right. There we go.
Workers, O High Priest.
So if we want to put two people in the cow farm, do we have cow farmers that want to ascend? These are people that want to work in the milk, excuse me, milkery, but not specifically cow farming. There's one person that wants to work as a butcher, but yeah, there's no specific cow farmers. Let's check Black Sand Island. Two that want to work in bottles. No one that wants to work in cows. So it doesn't really matter who we put in the cow farm, because nobody has the specialization. So in this case, I'm going to put one of the lumberjacks and one of the timber millers, because I don't really need more planks or wood. So workplace, we'll do a lumberjack and a miller.
We require work.
Put them in the cow farm.
Workers, O High Priest.
Cheers. And then the last part is to start the steak production. So once we start getting cows, we can turn them into steaks. And I need... Oh, more followers just arrived. Okay. Let's put 6 new houses on the main island and see if these followers are best suited to stay on the main island or to go over to the second island.
We obey.
We have got Bottler,
Our work for our God.
Lumberjack, so I'll put the Lumberjack back as a Lumberjack.
Embrace
And the Bottler I'll put working in the temple.
your destiny.
Worship the Great One.
A Blast Furnace worker. I don't have a Blast Furnace yet, so work in the temple.
I serve the...
Another Lumberjack.
Oblivion beckons.
I don't have need of you, so work in the temple.
I serve the deep.
Sandstone Quarry person. I don't care to move them over to the other island, so put them in the temple as well. And last but not least, whoever moves in here.
We obey.
Miller. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll put you working in the mill.
Of goods, O High Priest.
Okay. We have enough faith to finally build the butcher, and I'll put it here. Decision. Your people notify you about a family found at a dinner gathering, sitting motionless with empty eyes and faces contorted in a scream. In the middle of the table lies a matte, perfectly round sphere. So choices here. The rest of the family is unaffected. Order them to barricade the door to the room and never enter it. With a mystery reward. The middle option. Order to separate the remaining family members, then remove and bury the others. As compensation, take everything possible from the room, but do not touch the sphere. I would gain 2 clothing, 4 cooked corn, and 10 fanaticism. Or the right option. Carefully move the spear to the ritual area and hide it. Instruct the family to deal with the cursed runs. It would give me Eldritch Favor, but decrease fanaticism. Mystery consequences. Okay. The family in the house experiences a strange anomaly. The residents begin to swell and grow. Shortly after, from the disgustingly smelly dwelling emerged 2 pairs of identical people. I don't think it really means 2 pairs because it gained 2 people. Skeletal and thin, as if their mass had just formed one. The sphere slowly descends until it buries itself in the ground, leaving only one name in the eyes of those present. Shub-Nugaroth. That's a gross way to get more people, but alright, cool. Let's see what their employments are. Reminds me of the Keep Summer Safe episode of Rick and Morty, where it births like a peace baby.
We require work. Our work.
Alright, we got another corn ale brewer. You think the 2 pairs were the right way to describe it because they split? Oh, that's fair. Thank you for tuning in to Worshippers of Cthulhu, which originally streamed live on Twitch October 22nd. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow cultists.